Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can create and configure verified ID within Entra ID, right? So that's the brand new capability. It's almost a year or maybe more than a year now, but it has really been useful for different scenarios. In scenarios or situations where we wanted to verify employees' credentials for different use cases, which includes the onboarding people from remote locations, from different locations, right? In that case, we would simply be enabling face check capability of verified ID as well. And that can be leveraged for verification purposes, right? There is a whole lot of different configurations that we need to do. But for this video specific, I'm going to show you how we can enable verified ID across the Entra tenant, and then we can go ahead with the next steps, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And I'll simply share screen and show you how we can do that from the Entra portal. All right, so here you are on the Entra portal, and you can see that I have already enabled it for this tenant, but I'm going to show you from scratch by deleting this existing entry. So on the verified ID section here, and you can see that it is already configured, and you can see the domain name is also verified here, right? So this is my custom domain, and there are certain requirements, and including the custom domain is one of the primary requirement for that, right? We should have the custom domain added within the Entra tenant so that that tenant is going to be configured and set as appropriate for verified Entra or verified ID, right? That's the one of the primary requirements or prerequisites, we can say. There are many others as well. And those depending on, as soon as we have the custom primary domain, then we can go ahead and with configure further, right? Also, this is the Entra premium feature, which needs Entra ID P2 license, right? And that's going to work with that particular license capability. If you have P1 or lesser than that, it is not going to work because this is a premium capability of Entra, right? So let's go ahead and delete this existing one, and I'll show you from scratch. So while deleting, you can see that there is a small pop-up which says that reset your organization with a particular message, right? And then let's go ahead and delete it. So I'm just deleting it. So it has our existing entry. So I'll just go back to the home page, and let's go back onto the overview page from here. And you can see that this is the whole overview page where we have two different options for us to go ahead and configure Entra ID verified or Entra verified ID with quick setup as well as the advanced setup, right? So first I'll show you advanced setup because that is something which needs additional requirements, and then we will come back to quick setup later here. So let's go ahead and click on quick setup. Also, there are certain learn more options for us, which says secure and verified help desk process, faster application access approval, credentials tailored to your needs. What does that mean is this is going to help us in verifying employee identities, right? Even people say that they are the appropriate user of the organization, and they are claiming that I am the a person who works with this organization for a particular period, and I have this issue. I wanted to get help. I wanted access on a particular application, right? I want these application systems and credentials and everything together. So you can verify that using Entra ID verified ID, right? And then it is going to help you and understand, and then you can take the further steps, right? So let's go ahead and click on advanced step or setup. And there are three steps here to take. One is configure organization setting, then register decentralized ID, and then verify domain ownership. Let's say once you configure the first step, where you need to give the organization name and then domain name and then secret key. So secret key is something which you can either pull out from Azure if you have created, because you need that secret key. And if you don't have, then you can create secret key vault and store that secret key in the respective key vault within Azure. And that key can be picked up or pulled from there, and that key can be added here. So there are these certain steps that we need to take beforehand or while registering, right? And then we can go ahead and complete the other two steps here. So for now, I don't have that secret key yet with me. And definitely I'm going to make separate video for that and show you from the beginning, from the scratch. And then that's going to be the advanced configuration for us. So let's go back here and I will show you the quick setup, which is going to pretty straightforward and quick and fast. So let's go ahead and click on get started button here. And from here, you can see the multiple domains. If you have more than one domain, you would see all of those here. And for me, I have different domains, you can see, and I'm going to select one which is active for my this tenant, and then click on save button. So once we save button, what it happens in the back end or background is that it is going to check this domain, whether this domain is associated with this tenant, whether it is verified, and then what are the records are added here, right? So all of that is going to be verified and checked, and then it is going to considered as verified domain. So let's go ahead and click it. It is setting up. You can see that it is going to take up to 1 minute or maybe more than that. And then once that is done, you can see that it has configured everything as an initial setup, right? So it even didn't take the 1 minute for this to process and complete this verification, right? Now you can see that it has registered. Also, you can see basic information about the domain and organization name it has picked up. And here's the domain, which is this domain which I have added. And then here's the verified employee verification credentials, which is created by default for us. So it creates the verified credentials, and that credentials can be used. And at the bottom here, this is the add-on capability. Even this also needs the P2 license, and this is going to charge or cost you per transaction of 25 cents, right? So you can see that there's a button for turn on, and once we turn it on, it is going to simply open up this small window or small pop-up where we need to add or configure it with Azure subscription, right? I have Azure subscription with me, and I can simply select any of the subscription and then resource group from here and validate and then turn it on. So let's say I select this one, then validate the status of this. Now it is validated and I can simply go ahead and turn it on, right? So once it is turned on, and if there are such transactions which are happening, then it is going to add a cost of 25 cents per transactions, and it is going to bill per month wise, right? And it needs the Azure subscription. So that's the primary requirement here, right? So without that, it cannot be added and enabled. All right, so let's go back and click on explore. But before that, we will see some of the options here, which includes verified credentials, new credentials, and control who can get the credentials as well. So these are the different pre-built templates that can be used. So if I click on try it now, it is going to redirect, and you can see that URL is going to change. It is changed to the myaccount.microsoft.com page, and from there it has moved to the account page. So from here, as an end user, I can verify my credentials, right? And then All right. Oh, I think there was some delay. Okay. Okay. On the screen, you can see that it is still trying to. Perfect. So now you can see that it has opened up this QR code, and I can scan this QR code on my Authenticator app and enable it. So this is end user experience once we enable that one. And this was a pretty quick setup, right? So if we go back to the Entra portal and click on explore button here, and we can see pre-built option, which includes create credentials, then demo site, as well as verification request, right? So for demo site, we can click on this button, and this is the Microsoft's demo site, right? A demo page, basically. And when I wanted to use or verify my credentials, I can simply click on, let's say, this one, and let's see, it is opening up here, access discounts. And here you can see that verify employee credentials, because for that, I need to enable this one for my tenant or for my account as an end user, right? And once we have enabled that one, that means we should be able to scan it out, right? So let me scan this QR code quickly, and it should be completed. So it is starting, or it is completing the process. All right, so it has verified, and I can see the complete details on my mobile, right? And even I can see all the activity details and activity requirements, right? So I'm done here. I will simply click on done button, and I will click on verify my employee credentials, right? So now I will simply go ahead and scan this QR. So once I scan this QR code, you can see that waiting for digital wallets to verify, and it has verified, and this should automatically be complete the process. Perfect. So you can see that now I can see the discount is applied, right? So this way it is going to help us to make sure it is working, right? So just a moment. All right, so here you can see that it is enabled and the discount is also applied, right? And now it has verified the credentials as well, right? So let's say verify or refresh this page, and what we can see here, so it is already configured, right? And it is going to be verified for that respective activities. So under sign in, let's see if it is showing up any records or verification records. Probably it will not show immediately. It will take some time to show up and verify. But the verified ID is set up. Now let's go back to the other options where we have create credentials and create verification request, right? So create credential is the option. So from here we can see either we wanted to create with verified employee, which is a default one, and if not, then we can go ahead with custom credentials. Right, and under the custom credentials, we have certain steps to take. So once we click it, then you can see this page where we have to modify the details under this JSON format and template on the both sides, and then you can create and submit it or create it basically. And then you should be able to create this one. So I have not modified it. That is why you are seeing the URL error here, which is URI must be valid URL because it is going to validate and check it, right? So that needs to be modified here, and then only it is going to go ahead and change it, right? So let's go ahead. I'll cancel it out. Similarly, let's go back or let's click on this one. Then create verification request. So this is going to be the verification request or issuer. So from issuer network, we have many different issuers, right? I'll just simply select or search. So if you just type issuer and you can see there are many issuers, and these are the third party issuers. These are not from Microsoft. So you need to get the appropriate issuer subscription or license, and then you can add those issuers here. Let's say I have added this issuer, and here it says select the credential types to present to your user for verification purpose, right? So it should be appropriate one, and here you can see that verified employees, and once I add it, it is going to be added, and you can see it has the 8 claims, right? So these are the different 8 claims: display name, given name, job title, preferred language, surname, mail, revocation ID, and photo, right? So let's cross it out, and once we review it, from here we can download it or we can go ahead and complete the process, right? So once we done it, and let's see if it adds, explore and see if there's a verification process. That is not yet added. So probably it will add. Let's refresh this page and see if it is going to add or it's going to take some time. Not yet, because it didn't add because we did not modify and we did not verify it, right? Here, this is the default verified employee credentials created, and you can see the more details about it, directory, then name, and then different claims that we saw, and then the manifest URL. So click on 8 claims. These are the different claims which are or which will be verified between this verified identity and the directory attributes, right? So all of these are going to verified and check whether this attribute or this any of these are matching or not. And if nothing is matching, it is going to fails or fail there. Here you can see issuer or issue credentials. There are a bunch of options for us, which includes control who can retrieve credentials, allow all Entra ID users within the tenant or allow specific group of users. Then we can select that specific group. Then issue credentials through my account. So my account is going to be this option here. Right. So under this option here, to issue that respective credentials to the end users, right? That is why this option is checked. Otherwise, if it is unchecked, that means the issuing of this option here, right? It is not going to be visible and user cannot see that one. So this is the by default option, which is going to be visible for end users upon this option check or enabled. Next is publish credentials to verified network. So this is going to be by default enabled and active. You can see that it is checked and it's going to be verified or validated. And here's the post API call. So it has the URL. You can see that URL is added here for the tenant. So it's going to be different for each tenant and going to different as a unique, right? And you can go ahead and save the configurations as you wanted to change or something. There's an option for revoking it as well, if in case you wanted to revoke it for a specific user account. So you can go ahead and revoke that account or revoke the credentials for that respective identity. And by entering their credentials, let's say I wanted to enter that user or search that user. I will search it here, and for this user, it is not enabled. So I'll simply search for my account. Okay. Let me search it. Perfect. Here you can see that this account has the appropriate credentials enabled, right? Because I did that before few minutes and it says the status is valid and I can simply click on revoke. So that means it is going to be revoked and removed for that account. Right. So yeah, that is all for this video. And here you can see that respective account has succeeded with verification as well as the verified identity is added for that respective account. So yeah, this would be the end user experience as well as the administrator and verified identity configurations, right? And for face check here, this is going to be the additional configuration with Azure subscription, plus there's cost to it on per transaction basis. And yep, that needs to be remembered, and then we can decide it whether we should do this and how people are going to verify and do their face checks and other things, right? So yeah, that's all for this video I wanted to show you. I hope you like it. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Also, you will go through the whole video because there were few pauses due to some background noise and background issues, right? And yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.